Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me yet, my name is Cami Hostetler, and I have 22 years in the wellness and fitness space and 5 years in the financial industry. I am a retired massage therapist. I'm a retired pro athlete, and I am super excited to talk to you today about your financial house as it relates to the foundation of your business. If you already are an entrepreneur or you're an aspiring entrepreneur, especially for women, I really want you to understand how important this topic is. Most women do not know enough financial literacy, and just people in general, is not taught in school. And it can be very challenging because our whole world is about finances as you get into adulthood, right? So, a little bit of my background: I was um, a pro MMA fighter, and then I was in 5 car accidents within 8 years, and I had was about 4 or 5 years into my massage therapy career. I started my own business when I was 19, and I knew nothing about finances. I just knew when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I just knew I did not want to go to traditional college. I did not want to just work a job for the rest of my life. I knew that I was meant for more. I knew I needed to do something for myself. And I ended up getting my GED when I was 17. I went to massage school when I was 18, got my own business when I was 19. And they did maybe a couple days worth of a business class in massage school. But if you've ever been to trade school, it's focused on the trade. It's not really focused on building a business, which is really lacking because trade school really encourages you to start your own business. Welders, plumbers, electricians, whatever type of trade. If you don't know about business prior or you don't take a business class, it's actually really sad that the trade schools don't teach business. Me and a lot of my massage therapist friends feel like massage school lied to us and that you could just make this an amazing career and you can make it very lucrative and make so much money. As a massage therapist, most massage therapists are struggling. There are some out there that are actually doing well, but they are definitely have contractors and employees under them. Most franchises, I would say personally, I don't think franchises make you a ton of money. You're basically buying a job because you have to work so much as the owner, and there's just a lot of turnover. So I worked for a lot of franchises, and I also had always had my own business going, even if it was just on the side and I had to have another job as an employee. Um, when I was in those 5 car accidents, I had no clue about insurance, income protection, disability insurance. I had car insurance, but I didn't have any income protection. So most people, if they get hurt, they get sick, they get injured, they have to take time off from work, you don't get paid. And that can leave a lot of people in a financial hardship, and it often does. Everybody is one illness, one injury, and one accident away from a financial disaster. And it happened to me, and I'm here to educate you because I don't want it to happen to you. How many of you know somebody who got cancer and they had health insurance, but maybe they couldn't work, they had to go through all the treatments, maybe they even passed away and their family had to start a GoFundMe? GoFundMe is not a financial strategy. Most people today in the US and possibly around the world cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense. I know that I couldn't. And when I was in those 5 car accidents, I fortunately had multiple credit cards that I was able to use. Unfortunately, I couldn't pay it all back. So I was bought in about $30,000 of credit card debt. I'm grateful for the credit cards because I was able to live, I was able to pay my bills. However, I just didn't know enough, financial literacy in order to continue to protect myself financially. I was able to end up paying off most of that debt using the snowball debt method from, oh my gosh, I just am forgetting his name, Dave Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey's course, I didn't know anything about Dave Ramsey when I was younger. I actually was working with a lady who was a former financial advisor on Wall Street. And so she gave me these tips, and showed me how to decrease my credit card debt. And we paid off the largest one first, and then we continued to go on that route. She also encouraged me that it's super important once you pay off a credit card to reward yourself because it was a really big deal. And I was so stressed about money. My family lived in survival mode and we just did not have, we had a decent life when I was growing up, as far as we weren't living out of a tent or anything. We weren't homeless, but my grandparents, showed me how to get and start a savings account, and we would get our weekly allowance by doing chores. And at the end of the week, we would go to the bank and we would fill out the deposit slip, and we would deposit our money into the savings account. So that's great. However, that stuff didn't really help me when I needed it, when I was in those car accidents. I talk about how our limiting beliefs, what is your core childhood wounds? What is your limiting beliefs surrounding money, right? Mine was very much a lack mentality when I was younger. I have worked so hard to not be in that lack and poverty mindset. And school really crushes your spirit, your entrepreneur spirit, because they just, school was designed to really just create a worker. So I don't know about you, but I know I'm talking to some entrepreneurs on this channel, right? That's why you're here. I don't like jobs. I don't like traditional jobs. They are great, for income for a certain amount of time, but you are never going to get ahead if you are working a W-2 job for the rest of your life. I don't want, um, I don't want my legacy and future generations after me to continue to have that mindset. I want to instill the mindset of entrepreneurship and really going after your dreams. I was actually just talking to um, a YouTube friend, or not a YouTube friend, sorry, a Instagram friend who has his own landscaping business. And his business is Swan Landscape. So shout out to Kieran. But we've been reading the book, What's Your Dream by Simon Squibb, and I encourage you to get it. It is a phenomenal book. Simon is a millionaire, multimillionaire, and he's built many businesses, and he goes around encouraging people to start their own business. And what is your dream? So I encourage you to get this book, and I can link it below. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find Simon on Instagram. So I'm just so excited that I get to talk to you about being an entrepreneur. And for today, with the financial house and the foundation, if you're going to start a business or if you have a business, you have to protect your income first and foremost. If you do not protect your income, then if something happens, whether you get injured, you get ill, and you get diagnosed with a critical chronic terminal illness, and or even if somebody sues you. So I encourage you to start thinking from a different lens. I really want to just instill that there is a lot of different financial products and financial aspects and insurance that is not widely talked about, just because a lot of people, we don't learn this stuff in school. They don't teach any sort of financial literacy in school. One thing that would have really helped me when I was in those car accidents was if I had short-term disability. There was periods of time when I couldn't work for, weeks, and my doctor wouldn't give me pain pills, but I was in so much pain in my back and in my neck. I was miserable. I pushed through the pain many times, doing massage therapy, helping others, leaning over, bending over the table, and I was just in so much pain. There would be times when I was massaging people and tears were streaming down my face because I was in so much pain. And these people never knew. I pushed through it because I had to, because I had no other options. So how many of you on this video have ever had to work when you were in pain? You maybe got in a car accident, you maybe, broke a bone or had a surgery, and you couldn't take much time off from work. Raise your hand. That is a lot of people. So I got into the financial industry in 2020 during COVID. However, I had started looking at it in the middle of my car accidents. I actually did a course with the Rich Dad trading course and Rich Dad Poor Dad and Robert Kiyosaki. So I started learning way back then because I knew I had to do something else for my life, for myself, to get myself in a better financial situation. However, trying to learn stocks and investing when you're going through car accidents and going through all the treatment, I really didn't have the mental capacity to implement what I was learning. I didn't start trading with real money until a couple years ago. And because again, it just takes time to shift your mindset. It takes time, it takes repetition, over and over and over. Just like the Bible says, faith comes through hearing and hearing and hearing the word of God. It comes through repetition, changing your financial blueprint, changing your financial literacy. It takes time. So if you're not there yet and you still kind of have a lack and poverty mindset, you can absolutely change it. And it may take some time, but again, I'm here to encourage you that it can happen and you can think about money differently. So when I was in 2018, I met an insurance agent who I started talking to, and then I moved, and he encouraged me to look into financial services and, look into getting an insurance license. And so I started looking at it in 2020 when everything shut down. I did not want anybody to tell me that I couldn't work again. I got laid off from, massage, and massage was shut down for a while, and I had already been wanting to change careers. Um, I finally just retired from massage last December, and I've been building this financial business up, and it takes time. So if you still have to have a regular job while you're building your business, that is okay, but don't quit your business. There was so many times in the past where I would try, like, different companies and supplement companies and different wellness companies, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't a good model. It wasn't sustainable. I saw other people, doing well and getting ahead, but I really, really looked at the financial industry, and it's one of the largest, growing industries. Even among COVID, it still grew during COVID because instead of doing face-to-face appointments, most financial services and insurance went online and went to Zoom. So they grew exponentially. And so I moved again in 2021, and I got my life and health and accident insurance license when I was in Utah. So I really knew that this business, that I want to do this business, that I wanted to make it work. There was so many challenges with just, different jobs and, trying to build your business. So you're going to incur challenges, setbacks. Just keep going. Do not quit. Getting back on topic of how your financial foundation is a non-negotiable. If you are an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, you have to have your financial foundation set. So you have to ensure your income. And we do that with life insurance. There's new upgrades over the last several years with life insurance. So life insurance was typically used for death and death benefits, to pay out when somebody died, to pay the family a benefit when that person died. Now there's new upgrades to where they include living benefits. Living benefits are for when you're alive. So you can access a portion of your death benefit while you're alive if you were to get a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, such as cancer. You will be able to access that death benefit while you're alive. You can pay that money for bills or outside of network treatment, outside of health insurance. Health insurance is not going to pay you to pay your bills. Health insurance is to pay, certain health coverage. Health insurance has gotten out of control. So although I have a license for health insurance, I don't do much with it right now because it's a whole beast on its own. And maybe eventually I'll do it. But right now I am just focusing on protecting people's income. And if you were to get hurt or injured and you couldn't work like I was, do you have anything in place for your income? Again, something like short-term disability, accident insurance, that is something to think about. So many people go financially bankrupt and become homeless because of medical bills. I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to say it again. Everybody is one illness, one injury, one accident away from a financial disaster, homelessness, and bankruptcy. Do not let that be you. It almost happened to me. And if it wasn't for family, friends, credit cards, being able to pay my bills, I would have been homeless. And I was in my 20s. And I had so many people say, "Oh, you don't look like you're in pain." And I was in so much pain. I could not work. And pain does not discriminate. I felt like I was 80 years old. Pain does not discriminate. If you have back and neck pain or any sort of pain, joint pain, shoulder pain, whatever, from a surgery or injury, I sympathize with you. I get it. I understand, as somebody who was on the other side of the massage table, because I was a massage therapist, medical and sports massage therapist for 22 years. I could sympathize. I related. I know exactly what it is like. So even one small car accident where somebody hit you at 15, 20, 30 miles an hour can still cause a lot of pain. You may not break any bones, but you will have a lot of soft tissue damage, and that is the hardest to treat because there's a lot of cellular inflammation, and you may need to take several months to be able to heal and get your treatment. So going back to, what does it look like to protect yourself financially? You have to have insurance on your income, because if you get hurt and you can't work your job, if somebody can't take over your business, if you weren't able to do it, your business is gone. Your business, you have no income coming in unless you're creating something that is residual income that runs without you having to do it. Then you're kind of screwed. So you need to think about that. You need to think about, what can I protect myself with? So we offer life insurance, disability, accident insurance, living benefits. We offer retirement. We offer being your own bank. There's different insurance policies that a lot of the elite and the wealthy people use life insurance to set up generational wealth in order to set up their families forever. So a lot of people just don't know these different strategies, so we can help you be your own bank. I'm going to start teaching you guys what these different products look like, because it's just not taught about. And in school, most families do not know about these strategies, because the government does not want you to know about this stuff, right? They want you to be on welfare. They want you to, continue to be in poverty. I do not want you to be in poverty. I want you to thrive. I want you to be a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a decamillionaire, right? I want to just instill and encourage you that you can have the financial freedom that you're looking for. We also help people start and get licensed in the financial industry. We help people get licensed. We help people start their own firms and their own agencies. If that is something that you are interested in or possibly interested in, let me know, because we want to help you become financially free. What would another 5 to 10,000 a month do for you and your family? 10,000 a month is huge when people really start to get that sense of freedom. So we help people build their own agency, become brokerages, and create a team so they're getting residuals. And it's something that is sustainable, and you get residuals without you having to constantly put in the work. You do have to work at it. Any business opportunity, anything worth it takes work. I am not saying that it's easy. It has not been easy for me. But I am so grateful for this business, for this opportunity, for the knowledge I've gained, for the person that I've become. And you just become so much better when your feet are to the fire. And it sucks. The process sucks sometimes. And God, I love God. And sometimes I just say, God, just move me ahead. Like, this process sucks. But we don't grow if things are easy. We don't grow inside the comfort zone. And so we just have to embrace the suck, embrace the process, And it's repetition, learning, keeping an open mind of learning different things. If you went through school, you were taught to shut up, raise your hand, ask for permission, and that is nothing like what being an entrepreneur is like. It's the opposite. In business, you want to ask questions. You want to be able to be creative, think for yourself, fail and fail forward, and continue to move forward in the direction of your dreams. But it is a constant consistency that we don't really learn unless you have mentors and you were taught over time or you're self-taught, right? I always sought out mentors when I was younger. I I always wanted to know more, and I had a lot of different mentors over the years. So shout out to all the mentors that I've had. So with your financial foundation, protect your income first, because if you get hurt or sick and you can't work, then you're totally screwed. Again, everybody is one illness, injury, or accident away from bankruptcy or homelessness. Don't let it be you. And follow for more, because I'm going to break down how different strategies will help you, how different products will help you. Also, we help people with their retirement. So when I was in massage therapy, most massage therapists do not have a retirement, because most massage therapists are either an employee, a contractor, like 1099, or they have their own business. So most, if not all, pretty much all small business massage owners do not offer any sort of retirement or insurance when you're an employee, because they just can't afford it. They don't know about it probably, and they just can't afford it and give you those options. So I educate businesses on how to take care of their employees. It's no skin off the employer's back. I just come in, I do like a lunch and learn or a 45-minute presentation where if the employee wants to be helped individually, I help them individually. I do not exchange money with any of my clients. I get paid from the insurance companies when somebody starts a policy. So the client is only going to be paying the insurance company, and they just pay their premiums. So I get paid from the insurance company. So everything I do is just educating people on their options. If I can't help somebody, they don't pay me. If I can help somebody, they don't pay me. So it is really important that business owners, if you want your employees to have more security and safety, it's important for business owners to allow us to come in and talk to the employees. I also will say that since so many people have gotten burned from different insurance agents or insurance companies, I completely understand that people are very guarded. And I just want you to know that since I'm a broker, I work for you as the client. I don't sell anything that I wouldn't buy myself. We have over 20 insurance carriers that we work with. So if one thing doesn't work for somebody, something else will. I will find something that works for you and your family. So it's not a one size fit all. I am not a captive agent. Captive agents are only beholden to one company, and they sell that one company's products. Like for example, State Farm or Farmers or Allstate, they may have, different options, car insurance, life insurance, pet insurance, but you can only sell their products. I do not do that. I am a broker, so I shop all the different carriers that I'm contracted with, and we help you find what fits for you and your family. So I just want you to know that we take care of the client as a broker. It is my job um, to educate you on your different options. I could care less if you bought a policy, but I want you to be informed in your decisions and be able to make the best decision for your family so you have family protection if something were to happen to you and your kids are taken care of. I want your house and your estate to be protected. I want your assets to be protected. I want your pets to be protected, although I don't do pet insurance right now. But you get what I'm saying, right? So I want you to be able to just have the best protection that you could possibly have. And if I can't help you, I will find somebody that can. And we have a whole team of financial professionals that are ready to help. So again, I just encourage you to think about your family, your business, even protecting your business. If something were to happen to you and your business is scaled and you are making thousands of dollars a month, do you have something in place for somebody else to take over? So we do key person insurance as well, meaning a key person in your business where if something happens to you, the owner, then your business runs, but then also if something happens to that key person, your business is protected as well. So there's many different options, many different strategies. And again, we do Zoom. So if you're interested yourself in getting an audit on what your situation looks like right now, I encourage you to get a hold of me. I'll put my email in the description below, and you can email me and we can set up a audit, no charge to you, just basically looking at your situation, your goals. Do you want to leave a legacy and an inheritance to your children, to your grandchildren? Do you want to have a good retirement where you get guaranteed lifetime income? If you, most people outlive their savings. Most people have to actually go back to work when they retire because here in the US, people rely on Social Security. So, how many seniors have you seen working at Walmart at 70 and 80 years old because they cannot afford to be retired still? There was a huge story that went viral on Instagram where there was a guy who was like 80 years old who was working at Walmart and his wife had passed away and he couldn't afford to retire. And so somebody did a GoFundMe and um, there was a ton of people that came together and um, donated like $1 million or something. So this guy was able to retire. But if you have these products and these things in place and a good foundation in place, that will not be you. You will not have to work at Walmart and have to set up a GoFundMe and ask for donations so you can retire or pay medical bills or whatever. So again, there's so many different strategies that most people don't know about, and I'm here to help. I want you to set your business up properly. I have other resources of tax accountants and CPAs and people that can help you with your books and things like that. If you are interested in that, I will get you in touch with them. But if you really want to know more about leaving an inheritance to your family, making sure you have a stable retirement, making sure that if you got hurt or sick, you could have income paying you if your business is not running. So again, what does it look like for you? You know, you have to think about, if you don't have these things in place, or if you have one thing in place and you want to know about more on something else, again, just get a hold of me. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to answer any questions. I want what's best for you. I want you to thrive and do amazing in your business. You were put on this earth with a purpose. I just pray that God blesses your hands and blesses your mission, and whatever you are creating, you have to protect it. And I don't mean just putting it in an LLC. There's, again, so many different insurance protections that people don't know about. So if you want to be your own bank, if you want to learn how the Rockefellers did it, if you want to learn, you know, how to have generational wealth, that's what I can help you with. And I encourage you to just continue to learn on your own, do your own research. Don't take my word for anything. Don't take my word as the absolute truth. Do your own research. I don't know everything. I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm also still learning. I am a lifelong learner. Even with massage therapy, I had to do continuing education for my license. I don't know everything in massage, although I do say I am an expert in back and neck pain, and that I'm an expert in massage therapy and wellness and pain management as it relates to holistic pain. Um, but as far as anything that I say, do not think it's the absolute truth. Do your own research. Prove me wrong. Maybe there's something that I said that was not correct, and I will own that. Again, I'm just wanting you to look at entrepreneurship from a different lens, because society and school and people and parents and teachers have taught us to suppress our dreams, suppress our creativity, and to not question things. So I'm, again, just encouraging you to question everything, do your own research, do your own research on, you know, building a legacy for your family and what it looks like for how to create generational wealth for your family. How does that look like? All wealthy people have life insurance, and that's how they continue creating wealth in their family, because each person has a life insurance policy. And when one person dies, they put that money back in to a trust. And so there's different strategies. I just want you to do better. I want you to do more. I want you to go higher. I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to believe in your dreams. What is your dream? Simon Squibb, look up the book and just start to educate yourself. Just learn as much as possible. And again, I just want to pray over your business. I pray over your finances. I pray over your health, your safety, your happiness. Be fruitful and multiply, and seek God first. He will give you the desires of your heart. And I just pray and bless you and bless your business and bless the work of your hands. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you guys. Have an awesome day.